Hey guys, what's going on? It's Mike.
It's Dan.
Eddie.
Alright, let's change the mood a little bit from, we posted a bunch of stories today that's kind of negative.
Yeah.
Let's go with something positive.
Well, this story, if you guys read it, 8 out of 10 people will cry because it is really touching. It is. I can't even. You might have to tell the story.
It put a warm feeling in my heart. It put a smile on my face.
I can't tell these stories.
You tell it, but
Yeah,
okay.
tell it.
Stop. I'm gonna get all awkward and leave.
So here's what happened, right? So there's this 32-year-old waiter named Kasey Simmons, right? And he works at this random Applebee's in Dallas, right? And then one day he was at his job, and this lady comes in and then orders something really cheap. When he takes her check, he notices she left him $500 in a tip.
The check was 37 cents.
She ordered the cheapest thing on the menu.
Flavored water.
Yeah, and then she put the tip down, and then she wrote him a napkin note explaining why. Because he was like, whoa, $500, what the heck? And then, okay, so then he finds out why, right? So on the napkin, the lady says the day before something extraordinary had happened. So Kasey Simmons, right? He's at a grocery store and he's shopping, and then he saw this old lady and she looks really distraught.
Right.
She looks just like sad, and so he goes up to her and he says, "Oh, can I help you, ma'am? Like, why are you sad?" And anyways, he just helps her and he pays for her groceries.
Right.
He insisted on paying for her groceries. So
Right.
let me help you out. Like, I just want you to have a good day, okay? Have a good day, ma'am. So the old lady's like, "Oh, okay," and she gets kind of cheered up and she leaves, right? It turns out the lady who left the $500 tip was the daughter of the grandma that Simmons had helped the other day.
And the reason the grandma was so distraught that day is because it was the 3rd year anniversary of her husband's death.
Yeah, that's why she was really sad that day, because she found it really hard to go about her day normally. She was thinking about her husband. And here comes this young man who cheers her up, and the daughter writes in the note, she said, my mom hasn't smiled like that since my dad passed away, and you really made her day, because she basically was like telling her that she's beautiful, she's gonna make it through, and then paid for her groceries, sent her off on her day. Just a wonderful, kind young man. And here the daughter's like, I can't thank you enough. I cannot thank you enough. Here's $500. And the daughter did not leave her name nor her mom's name because she wanted it to remain anonymous so that he won't track them down.
Dude, that's a great story. That's a great story. Like, think about this, right? You walk around all the time and like you see people who are you have no idea, like they're looking distraught or whatever, but it could literally be the worst day of their lives. And to lend a helping hand, to be that selfless, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for this guy. I'm more so happy for the grandma because she really needed someone to help her that day.
We need stuff like this, otherwise in this world, like literally, like, oh yeah, when we watch this channel, we don't purposely pick out like some of the worst examples of humanity. We don't do it. All right, we do it because it's literally all there is.
That's the stuff that's making the news.
And we're not even picking the worst. Like, we can't even show you guys the worst ones.
We
can't even do that.
And we try to do it with a purpose. Like, okay, we did it. This is why we want to
talk about it.
But we don't try to depress people.
Right.
There's not a lot of good things out there that people are reporting. I wish there's more stuff like this.
Right.
Yeah.
I just want to say on a side note, if this was Hollywood, the daughter would have married him.
Oh. Yeah. Wait, isn't there a movie like that?
No.
Isn't there a movie like that?
No, there's not.
Yo, I feel like this is a Sandra Bullock movie or a Julia Roberts movie. And then Hugh Grant is the guy that helps, right? It's always a good looking guy. And then he's like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" Like, I came 5,000 miles just to find you because you left my grandma, you helped my mom out. Yo, there's a movie like that.
In a Chinese movie?
Yeah.
Here's how it would go.
Okay.
All right, he helps the grandma out.
Yeah.
And the grandma was actually a goddess. Right? Was actually a goddess to test him.
Yo, dude.
This is exactly how Chinese cinema would do.
Right.
A goddess or a demon to test him. Come on.
Yo,
that's exactly the plot of Bai She Zhuan.
Yeah. No,
White Snake, whatever trilogies. That's it. Basically the plot.
Definitely.
It helps. It comes back and marries him. Like,
definitely.
I'm just saying, kidding around a little bit, but like that's the two differences in cinema.
Dude.
Wow, that's really awesome.
Exactly.
We need stories like this because it shows us there's still good people out there, and that we can still hold on to hope, humanity.
And we didn't do this story, but this happened a week after we read a story where in Britain a grandmother fell down, broke her nose, had blood running down her face, and no one came to her aid for 10 minutes after she was asking for it. And here it's not like the grandma was like, "Can you help me?" I mean, this guy just was like, "Yo, I think she needs help."
Yeah.
And he even said, like, you know, when he paid for groceries and when other people asked him, you know, oh, why'd you do it? And he's like, well, it's not about the money. It was only $17. He was like, I just felt like she needed somebody that day.
That's really awesome.
And then I'm like, wow.
I feel like people like that's so rare. Even that's beyond just a nice person.
No,
you know what I mean?
beyond.
This is like literally somebody who's usually people like, you're nice, you're a good person, you're not a bad person,
right.
but you're not aware of a lot of things around you.
Right.
You're not like looking around and trying to be like, oh, I think this person needs help or not. You're like, I'm doing my stuff, minding my own business.
Right.
This person is actually like trying to make the world better.
Right.
Most people make the world neutral.
Yeah, you're right.
Or worse.
You're right.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
will make it worse.
Right.
But here's the thing. I feel like nowadays, you know, given our urban societies, you know, we lived in New York City, people are so callous towards each other.
Yep.
And there's a good reason for it because, oh my God, in New York City, when you make eye contact with someone, something bad could happen to you. You know, sometimes you're just like, oh, I really don't want to look at anyone. I don't want to cause any trouble. I don't want people to come up to me, sell me things, you know. So normally people don't even like extend their hand to do anything.
Right.
But I feel like we still need this. We still
Dude.
need this. We need this ever more than ever
Dude,
now.
if think about it, every day, like not every day, like don't go out seeking this, but like if you are just more nicer to people, like think of how much better. I'm not like I want world peace. Like think of how much better the world can be when people are just not hating other people all the time.
Yeah, and it'd be just to be a little. I think this is the epitome of selflessness. When you're not
Exactly.
thinking about yourself for 1 minute, and you saw someone else, and you put yourself in their shoes, and you were like, you know what? If I were her, I might need some help because she looks like she needs it. So I'm gonna put myself aside. I'm gonna help another person and make their day.
Yep. Yo, did you cry when you read this story?
I didn't cry.
You
but
cried? Wait, I didn't have tears, but you had the what do you call that? You had the choked up feeling. The jerkiness. Where I was like, I was looking at you guys. I was like, I hope they don't look this way because I was reading.
Do you do this a lot?
I was sitting.
Do you do this a lot? Where you're just sitting there going, "Who's gonna look at me?" Because I'm about to cry right now.
because I'm sitting here reading the story. I'm not sitting by
we
myself.
do a lot of stories that are
Yeah.
church. Do you just sit there a lot, just going like, "I wish you don't look over here because I'm about to cry."
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Wow.
You guys are sitting
Dan
there.
is great because he represents all the people who are open about their emotions out there.
I mean,
Mike is more like a, you know, of a tough guy.
Were your parents like open with you when you were growing up or something? Emotionally?
Yeah, I mean, my mom was, not my dad, but my mom was. So you know, I crying in front of your parents crying in front of you. It's not a big deal.
No?
It's not a big deal.
That's huge for me.
It's not a big deal.
Would you? If my parents ever cried in front of me, I'm walking out. I'm sorry.
Really?
I'm sorry. I can't handle it.
Really?
That's the most awkward thing I could ever do.
My mom has sobbed in front of me.
I can't.
Sobbed, wailing sobs.
I'd be like, Mom,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go buy you some tissue in the Walgreens 2 miles away.
Yeah, be right back.
No, what you do is you go over to your
No!
mom.
No!
And you
No!
say, here's a shoulder,
No!
mom. Yo, well, I told you this.
No!
I cried in front of my dad when I was yelling
Yeah.
at him one time.
I wouldn't.
How
do
awkward
that.
would you have been?
I don't do that. Would you?
Both my parents have cried in front of me, and every time I've been like, oh my god.
No, not your dad.
Yeah,
Oh,
my,
your dad
my
too?
dad loves to cry in TV shows. It wasn't like he was
weird,
crying at me, but
No, in his situation, let's say your parents are crying.
Yeah.
You have to go comfort them.
Yeah.
I can't. Well, I had to comfort. I've done this before.
You comfort your mom.
I comfort my mom,
Yeah.
and I've also comforted my dad. And I'm just like, it does make me feel really awkward.
Wow,
when it happens.
so right now, 3 of us sitting here is literally 1 through 10 of open,
Yeah.
like no awkwardness whatsoever, to medium to extreme awkwardness.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, beautiful story for you guys. Hopefully you enjoy that. Thank you all so much for watching.
Bye.
See you.